Good morning, everyone. Arm Bushido for Dry Socks AAR here, and today I was going to put together something I've been meaning to do for a while for War Thunder. I have a couple, but we're going to start off with the Panzer 470. Now, I've learned to really love this vehicle, and I'll show a couple gameplays why. Is it perfect? No. Like all TDs, you must be really careful not to get flanked. And the one thing I do like about this, because this is basically a converted Panzer IV chassis. From what I read, wasn't too favorable early on because they felt the Stugs were doing the job. But and I also questioned the gun on this. If I think historically most guns were not this one. The longer one here, high velocity one here. It was more of a neck. I don't want to say it was a low velocity 75, but it was typically the gun that was used on pretty much the end line of the Stugs and all that. Anyway, so what I'd really like to just note about this course, again, TD, always keep it to the front. Works best in ambush positions, sniper. However, this one does do well, and again, you never want to use a TD like a tank, but this one does have some pretty good hull traverse overall, and so I really enjoy it because I can actually spin. I've outspun some other vehicles, and another thing it really benefits from is the very low silhouette. I've got into a middle of a street fight, and some even Tiger 1s, if I get up close enough, they have trouble nosing down on me with their main gun. But let's go over the armor real quick. Again, this is just a converted Panzer IV, so the armor is not going to be stellar. I mean, it is a little bit better. You know, you got the front roll right here. This is going to be your main, and most things will punch right through this when I get ranked in Panthers. Definitely. Tiger 1s sometimes struggle, sometimes not. Depends on how they hit me, what angle. But as you can see, its thickness is 80 millimeters with an effective thickness of 177 with a slope of 50. Okay, then you get to the front plate, kind of the same thing, a little bit more sloping, gives a little bit more. Now, the one thing that is weak is that right there. And it says its effective thickness is 250 millimeter, but I have found that that's where I get punched through, so I have to be really careful about protecting that lower plate. The mantle, of course, you know, again, this is just a converted Panzer IV. It was converted, but it does well. I think its strengths really come from being very low silhouette. It actually has good movement and good spinning material, and the gun does well too. There's not, I mean, okay, there will be a lot of things I can't pen the front that I'll get ranked up against, like some Tiger 2s. I'm trying to think, one round I even had a T95, which I don't know how he got ranked in with me, but there's just no way I'm cutting through that. But overall, really enjoyed this vehicle, and I think mostly it's because of the maneuverability. Anyway, let's go over where some locations are. And again, I'm not going to go over the side armor. I think that's just obvious. Again, it's a tank destroyer. You know, like everything, keep it to the front. Don't get side punched, all that. And again, where I usually get, like most, the transmission's up front, and this will get wrecked. And unfortunately, unlike, you know, with TDs, it's even worse. When you lose hull movement, you're pretty much done. Unlike a tank, who you may still maintain turret traverse, in a TD, you lose that hull movement, and it just goes downhill from there. So anyway, but as you can see, pretty much your standard location, pretty much your standard, as I call it, for whatever reason, Germans love the ammo on the side. Now, I wouldn't say that's a German-only thing, especially early on in most tanks, but it just seems to dominate them. I mean, Germans seem to just get ammo racked constantly. And of course, you have your standard crew layout and all that. And again, though, like I said, this right here, that lower plate on there hits that transmission, and it's done. You just can't move. So you have to be very cautious with this. I typically play, like I said, don't play it like a tank, don't get aggressive, but at the same time, I've been able to street brawl with it a little bit because of its maneuverability. Anyway, I'll be giving you a couple videos here, and we'll go over. But again, this has really surprised me, especially in War Thunder, where the lethality of the game, I feel TDs. So a lot of the maps in War Thunder are so small, TDs just don't get a chance. There's a couple maps that I just was like, in fact, we'll see in this first gameplay video that it's a street fight, and this thing just excels. Now, granted, all this comes down to having a really good team. In both the scenarios I'm going to show, I felt had a really great team. So that always helps out immensely. You can only do so much, and if your team's doing well, then typically you do well, and any vehicle can kind of excel. But all right, well, let's go on to the first video. All right, here we are. This is my first gameplay video, and it's a keep and hold 1 point. And I instantly thought, okay, city map, you know, you're looking for the long streets with some good corridors. You're also looking for a street with a lot of debris, something to keep you know, to protect your flanks. Use the low silhouette of this vehicle to your advantage. And so I opted for the outer line street here. And I apologize, this is a replay, and this one was done just a little bit long ago, so I'm trying to keep everything fresh in my brain here, and I apologize if I forget anything. Anyway, instantly, I knew they were going to go for the capture point, so instantly I started just looking for targets. Initially, my success isn't too great, and I do believe I do get hit here. Nope, got the Panther. Got the gunner. Sweet. Alright. Okay. If you'll notice, there is I believe an Ashhorn to my right. He gets taken out. And I actually opt here in a minute to take a position. The other thing I find, people have a tendency, once they find a position and they do well, they won't move. And I'm guilty as the next person. I really am guilty. But I'm trying to get better and better about, you know, again, it's like a sniper. You relocate, sniper, relocate. Even if it's a few meters off to the left or right, if somebody dies and they want to come back looking for you, they're going to be kind of looking. So I usually try to, you know, you want to snipe, relocate. Again, TD is basically, that's its job. And I don't even, you know, the term, you know, a lot of that comes from the other game, camping. There's no such thing with a TD. That's their job. You know, and that's not to say you know, if I see we're gonna lose a point and it's down, I'm gonna move forward with the TD. See there, I took a hit, but I'm okay. A little damage, not too bad. Oh, I take that back. I did lose my gun there, and I didn't know it right off the bat. And I believe I repair. Oh, I don't even. Like I said, I don't think I realized my gun was broken, but that was a beautiful shot. That was a knockout with a broken gun, straight up. But again, I don't think I realized it until just a little bit here that it was actually broken. So getting that shot like that was just lucky. Oh, I'm sorry. I was repairing right there. There was some... Sorry. Again, this was a little bit long ago. There was a point where I found, oh, my gun's broken. So maybe it did repair in enough time there to make that shot off. Because typically if your gun's broke, getting shots off without being within, like, right up on people is just nearly impossible. Okay, at this point, I think I was trying to get that IS-2, but he never really pops out. I know something to my right. I start seeing some more movement. Again, they're ducking in between the cover and the buildings, and I think I opt to swing more right here in a minute because I keep trying to hoping that IS-2 will give me a side profile, but he never really does. And then I'll see a couple here in a minute off to my right sneak through on me, and I kind of get, I go, oh, I need to shift. You'll see me back in and out a lot of times. I'm a big fan of situational awareness, so I want to see what's going on around me other than just the scope view. And I've also been trying lately to use more, if anybody doesn't know, you can pull up binos, which you get a very zoomed in view. And if you right click with the bino, it will align your gun to your binoculars, if possible. Now with a tank, it's always possible with a turret. However, with a TD sometimes the gun can't align because it won't traverse the vehicle. Okay, that wasn't a bad shot there either. But he got away. Yeah, I was trying to... I delayed too long there. I think I could have got a snapshot in there. I should have just went for it and seen if I hit him. Sometimes you get a little, you know, you're trying to line up and get that perfect shot because you want to make sure you're hitting a good weak spot that's going to do the maximum amount of damage. As I say in War Thunder, it really comes down to whoever pulls the trigger first, but it also puts the round where it needs to be to do the best damage. Because again, unlike World of Tanks or Armored Warfare, you're not chewing away hit points here. You're trying to make that round count. Getting a little sleeper here, but I think what I do is I look at the mini-map and I've assessed that yes, we are going to cap A. Roll forward a little bit. The team's kind of pushed forward. And again, this is a match where the team I was with was exceptional. They did a fantastic job. At no time did the gameplay ever really break down. We kept rolling forward, and then once we had the cap, we maintained a forward of that cap pretty much the whole time. Here's another one where get the KV2. That's good. And I just can't get reloaded fast enough. Trying to find some more. Got the Panther to the side. Now, another thing a lot of people always are focused on, of course, getting the kill. You want to get the kill, but I also recommend when you play the game, watch your X-ray, see what damage you did. If you've got that tank, if you've got multiple targets, and you've got one tank and you know he can't shoot you because his turret rings damaged, his gun damaged, move on to the next target first. And at this point, I wasn't sure what was going on, and I had to back out. The plane tried to wreck and come in on me. But then I do realize there's a bunch of vehicles, and I'm just slow on the draw here. I can't remember if I get this Panzer IV if he gets a chance to leave. Yeah, I can't figure out why I wasn't shooting. Something was there and it wasn't really, I don't know, something was blocking it or what. However, and I missed the Tiger, but the little Hetzer here gets wrecked. Alright, moving on. I do catch something. I see the G off to my left, but I press forward I was hoping to come around, get a better angle, more protected on him. And then I'm about to go toe-to-toe with a doppelganger here. And basically I'm going to contribute a little bit of luck. His shot bounces, mine doesn't. But what I was initially though, I was looking for that 4G, and then I realized he's been knocked out. So then I noticed right around the corner there's something, and I wasn't sure quite what it was initially. I just knew there was something there, and then I realized, oh, it's me. And it bounces, and then he bounces. And then I line up right for the driver's sandwich. Actually, I shouldn't say doppelganger. That's the one just before this one. And again, that Panzer IV is more than what you would, if you go look up Panzer IV, you know, Jet Panzer IV, that would be more your traditional. Where this one here, I couldn't really, I mean, I probably need to do a little more research. Couldn't find the gun being used or any, I'm sure there's a prototype out there somewhere, something, you know, Gaijin found. Oh, I caught the back of that guy, he's on fire. On fire. Love it. As you can tell right here, now, this is a good example of this vehicle. It skirts around the street, it spins really good. It's got a great power to weight ratio. And I feel for a TD, and it gets in the middle of a street fight and needs to spin around, it does a very good job. And that's probably why I'm always, when I play these War Thunder, World of Tanks, or whatever, I do gravitate towards vehicles that have a little bit better move. Getting into the big lumbering beasts are great, but it just seems like it takes forever to get anything done. You got to spin around, whatever. It's pretty much. So I do gravitate towards vehicles that have a little bit better movement. And I think at this point in this play, and again I apologize, my recall on this, I've been meaning to do this sooner, and so this match is kind of fading in my memory a little bit. And again, it's only a few days old, but I've done so many matches since then. But I think this is the end, as you can see, and that was the end of the first match. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Which is a little more recent, and I have a little bit, I guess, better memory of. All right, here's the second match, and this one was actually this morning. Now I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I was being a bonehead. For some reason in my mind, I should have probably been with my TD, and you'll notice you'll see you see the Dicker Max going by, and you'll see the SU-152s roll by me. And I don't know what I was thinking. I should really go cover A and let the tanks go take B, but I got it in my brain. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And it kind of dawns on me about once I get halfway up and around, and I'm actually looking for a position to cover, you know, cover B, and then I finally realize, I'm going, what are you thinking? And then as I realize the rest of my force is charging towards B, I'm hanging way back. And I'm just being a complete dunderhead. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking here. So I apologize. It's a little bit boring here. In fact, let's just speed this up. Since this is a replay, we're going to we'll speed it up. This gets a little boring. Probably should have done this a little bit on the other one. I apologize, but we'll get us up there until I feel the action starts. It's getting pretty close. Bring her back down. There we go. Alright, this is about where it starts playing up a little bit. Then, unfortunately, all we got here is a little bit of AI initially. And I do see that the 8.8 centimeter flak over there. By the way, if you haven't played War Thunder, or if you do and you run into those things, they are a wrecking machine. And I don't care if they have an open top, I don't care if they're thin-skinned. If they get a hold of you, all they need is one shot. And speaking of one shots, and And there goes our first kill. All right. Now, this T-34, in my mind, T-34-85, probably one of the best tanks at tier in this game. Love it. He's being a little more cautious. See, I'm the TD. I'm the guy who should be hanging back and letting him go forward and discover things. But I don't know. He was just being super cautious, not sure exactly what he was trying to do. So I said, hell with it. I'm moving forward, and away we go. Let's get something done here. So there is a KV-1. And he gets knocked out. And then I pause, and I'm kind of, there he is. I was waiting for the T-34. I mean, I was kind of using him to be a little bit of a scout, I was hoping. And not to say, you know, I'm trying to make him a sacrificial lamb, but he's kind of got, you know, he's a T-34-85. Anyway, so, oh, and here's my favorite buddy. And this, I was hoping to get the kill on this. I really was. But that's okay. I hate those things with a passion. But this guy really hates me. So now I'm a little nervous off my right flank. But nothing's popping, and so then I slowly progress to move forward. And again, as you can see, I am actually using this as in some ways here, I'm really leading the charge, which I feel, well, shouldn't be in a TD, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And again, to me, it exemplifies just the versatility of this thing, especially being unlike, say, the American Hellcat, which is a phenomenal TD. It's fast, it's maneuverable, it's got a turret, you know, it spins on a dime. In fact, sometimes it's almost, there's an AI here, I just knock him out. Why not? But for this being a fixed TD, you know, where you have limited movement, you know, for your gun, this thing gets around. And it can take, honestly, it can take a beating, even though it is just a modified Panzer IV chassis. And it's not going to go toe-to-toe with the big beast, but, you know, it does what it's got to do. And then there's a Brumbar here. And so, see, now this Panzer IV is doing the job I want. I want him up front, and I'm just going to cover him over his shoulder. And we knocked out one, and the Brumbar is about ready to go get smacked too. All right, there we go. Now there's a Tiger 1, H1 up here. This one, okay. Again, the Tiger 1 I found can punch through the front, especially at this distance with definitely, you know, 200 meters, 190 meters, 180 meters, he will definitely punch through. I found once you start getting out beyond 500, the front slope can pretty much hold its own, but that lower glacis will get wrecked. Panther, with that 75 though, I think I've been hit through my front glacis even at a kilometer, 1,000 meters. Oh, okay, Panzer IV, I see him, and fire. And I do believe he's about, I don't do the killing blow, but some, or maybe I do on this one. Yes, I guess I do. Never mind. Because I know there's the Panzer IV over here, and then there's some another guy coming up around. Yeah, this Panzer IV here is about, he's getting in a little bit of trouble. And I know that the Tiger 1 is right here, and I snapshot it and miss. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the top of the commander's cupola, does some damage, but then he gives him, I think, enough time to spin his turret and do some damage. And again, it shows, even, you know, the Tiger is a beast machine. Played, you know, you got a guy in a Panzer IV on his toes here. He's doing his job, and I fire it at dead vehicle already. So now we're about ready to take this point, and we're about ready to just cap it out and win. But there's a couple more kills in here, as you'll see. I believe one's a T-34-57, and then, which I do not fear, especially in my front, at this range, even at this range. And then, I don't do, I didn't get the hit at one, so that's okay. But I do notice the M18 on the hill. Now something funny here is going to happen. I'm going to wreck the for some more. I'm trying to back up a little bit and get my angle on this guy, but if you'll notice that M18 flips over and see I highlight, he is actually upside down. So, not really a fair shot. Once I realize that, I'm not worried about him shooting. And at this point, it's pretty much over. Again, I'd like to this vehicle just does really well, because I think it's because for a fixed gun, it just maneuvers really well. I think that's what really makes it insane. But we're about ready to cap this out and take the win. Anyway, that's just something I've been wanting to, like I said, as I played this vehicle, I just really fell in love with it, and it's going to be one of my favorites. And I just wanted to show some gameplay of, what it's really capable of. Anyway, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you all later.